Welcome to What's Happening. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
It's a show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Not much, bro. Just sitting back, chilling. No, it's really just been a normal day for me, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't got a whole lot going on. Family good. You know what I'm saying? So, we just sitting back, relaxing. What's up with you?
Man, took them kids trick-or-treating. Wasn't no houses giving out candy. Wasn't no kids out.
Wow.
Now, when I say no houses, you know I'm being a little facetious. You know what I'm saying? But, man, all right. So, all right, I got to tell the story. Story time with your boy. We ain't said story time with your boy in a while.
That's a throwback.
Story time with your boy. You know what I'm saying? So, we out there trick-or-treating with the kids. And we're surely got the pathway to make it back to our house, right? And so what happens is that we see one house it's the street before ours, but we see it's just about 4 houses down that they got the light on. Hey, come get some candy. So we walk the kids down there, and in the process, we passed the house that was on the corner, right, on the opposite side of the street. So as we're walking back, we're getting ready to walk around the corner to go home. And you know the gentleman, you know, he kind of sticks his head out the window, you know, say, "Hey, I got stuff," you know what I'm saying? So we're like, "Oh, okay, we'll walk across the street real quick, right?" This man gave out books.
Hey, little Bibles or
his own paperback book, dog.
Could you color in it?
No. His own paperback book. Paperback. It cost him money to make this book.
So basically you just got a free book from an author and hopes you'll read it and like his material.
Bruh.
You know, gotta shoot your shot, promote everywhere you can, you know what I mean?
I'm not mad at the hustle. And here's the funny part. So last year there was with the trick-or-treat thing, somebody was giving away coupons to the Mod Pizza and the Wendy's that they own, the franchise that they own. So I said, man, next year I've seen somebody give away food coupons. I've seen somebody give away a book. I'm gonna have QR codes or something ready for the podcast next year. Like, ain't no way. Like, that's got to be somewhere in the middle, you know.
I did just say promote, so I ain't even finna knock you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't just say it, but sometimes you just gotta watch what you say. You know what I mean? Let some shit play out, I guess. Man, but no, I mean, ain't no bad idea. But I don't know if the QR code gonna be to jump off. You're gonna need some. You know, you might need a silly flyer or something. Look like a house party.
Hey, we can put the QR code on the house spot. Hey, that Super Bowl ad last year or this past year Super Bowl, crypto.com. It was a 90-second segment of just a QR code on the TV, and they broke the crypto.com app. It might work.
Yeah, but they had Dogecoin too going, so you know it's a little different.
hey, you never know. But no, man. I mean, you know, it's cool. You know,
that's dope.
This was the last 2 weeks of. We talked about it. The last 2 weeks of the wife, working the 2 jobs, cleaning up the old one, and also doing a new one. So, you know, it's kind of weird having her home on a Monday night. I ain't seen that one in a while, you know. But you know. Life is changing. Life is adjusting. I got no complaints. Man, we got a interesting docket, I think.
Hey, I just want to say his wife gave out stickers for her book. Inside little candy bags.
See, I likes that idea. I likes that idea. All right, so yeah, I'm not gonna just give out just like only they gonna have some Snickers or some Reese's or something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give the kids.
That's all I was saying, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give like this man. I guess maybe I didn't clarify that part. This man gave out just books. He stuck his head out so my little kids could see him to say, here's a book that and then he was like, wait. So my son, Jackson, he walked, was like, wait. Gave Jackson an extra book.
Wasting my time.
Dog. I'm like, you made my kids walk back across the street for that. But man, let's get into it. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, man. Kanye got canceled. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast, first off, thank you for listening to what's happening. But I'm definitely putting out air quotes with the word canceled. We've been talking about it over the last few weeks a lot. We've been talking about the man. What you thinking, dog?
Hey, one thing I say, they ain't calling him a liar. They silencing him. They taking his money. They ain't calling him a liar. And they kind of proving his point in a sense. So,
what point?
That basically, you know what I'm saying, they'll get everybody around him to, you know what I'm saying, basically do away with him in a sense and mess with his money and whatnot. But in a sense, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure there's Jewish people in all contracts now. Hey, at this, wasn't nothing anti-Semitic until he said something about the Jews. He said something about them being in the contracts. And basically, he's showing how quick he can lose everything just for mentioning them and for going after him. So, I mean, they ain't call him a liar, but they is trying to silence him, trying to get him to, you know, cooperate, be a good boy. So, it'll be fun to see how the rest of this goes. You know I was going to come with something wicked. I don't even know why you tried me. As soon as I seen it at the top, I said, oh, yeah, he want me to get on his nerves, so let's go. I don't even know why you thought you was just gonna brush on, mosey on down, sir. Okay.
That's why I put it at the top. So we can go ahead and get to it and get through it. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Well, you know how I feel about it.
What up, Britt?
I feel like it's overdue at this point. You know, I've been quoted on many times. You could check out the archives. Check out the archives of what's happening. I've said it multiple times, and I still feel the same way. From 2003 to 2012, that period alone, Kanye West is the greatest rapper of all time. I will never change my opinion on that, and I won't listen to any other. I'll listen to your arguments, but I'll tell you that you're wrong. But that's his as an artist. We also did an episode back in late February called Separating the Art from the Artist. And I am separating the art from the artist. As an artist, fantastic. The art is fantastic. I'm sorry. That's what I want to say. The art is fantastic. The artist has some issues. He's been saying wild, crazy, ridiculous stuff for years, including saying that slavery is a choice, which I'm still don't understand how you were able to justify that, but I'm not going to go back down that road with you. But the point is, and what's funny is that I was thinking about something else that you said. This was maybe 2 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that, but we were talking about there was evidence of some police just beating the hell out of this guy. And the video went viral on Twitter, and I'm forgetting the conversation, but basically you were just like, what are we going to do about it? That was your sentiment. What are we going to do about it? And basically what you were saying is, we ain't really doing nothing, so what is we talking for? And I kind of feel that same way about Kanye. Because Kanye's been saying crazy stuff for years. We ain't did nothing about it. Oh, that boy just crazy. Well, that boy lost his mama.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you want to really go down the road of the whole cancel thing, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of how far deep in he may be or whatnot, we never stick by him regardless of what it was. Even if he ain't say all this anti-Semitic, whatever, we still want to stand by him. And any decision he made or how he wanted to choose this fight, because that's just who we are as a culture. We not gonna do nothing. We're gonna talk about him though. You damn right we're gonna talk about him. You know what I'm saying?
Now I gotta highlight this comment.
Yeah.
Because AV says when he raps about the bad aspects of being blacks that hurts ourselves, he is the greatest. But when he brings that energy to other cultures that hurt us, it's a problem. I need that same energy. And I kind of feel like that's a very generalistic thing to say about rap in general, because Kanye's raps were always about his life and life in general. Kanye never had a rap where he was glorifying being a gangster, being a thug. Um, he always rapped about real stuff. So I think as a general statement, that's something. I don't think that applies to Kanye West at all.
I don't know. I mean, I think, I guess you're saying in a general sense, but
Yeah.
it could apply. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've listened to that brother's music a lot.
I feel you. And that's
I
why I
can't.
said could. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole with you. So you know what I mean? But I mean, I see where it be coming from. You know what I'm saying?
I see it from a general perspective. I just don't think that applies to Kanye specifically. I like
Brittany comment.
Yeah, Brittany comments says D.L. Hughley said if he was a woman, he would have been placed in a conservatorship. What, bruh? are we fighting with it at the same
yes,
time?
bro. That's why I'm laughing. But you know, I control the comments, so I don't even know why you.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm even trying it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You can read it. I just usually put it up there.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back to AB real quick. He said about our self-esteem issues. That man said we all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. Okay.
and truthfully, like when you look at his situation, because what he's going through, essentially we all go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? If you put it down to our broke level, you know what I'm saying? And basically everybody around him is doing what people around you in a regular work life would do. How many times you tired of your workplace bullshit, or you know what I'm saying? People like, hey, let's rally together and let's just say fuck them. And soon somebody say it, it'd be like 50 motherfuckers like, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm pissed with them, but nah, we ain't gonna go that route, you know. Like nobody's really willing to stand up, you know what I'm saying, for the cause. And that's how we got into that conversation on, you know what I'm saying, slavery was a choice. Like it's always about standing up for what you believe in and finding those that's like-minded that's willing to stand for the same cause. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much everybody around him folded, you know what I'm saying, when it was time to ride for the cause. But like he said, there's a lot of motherfuckers that agree with him. Glad he's saying what he's saying, but they ain't willing to back him up because they scared for their check to get cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Brittany's comment in a second, but AB he specifically called out all falls down. I'm gonna just read this verse. He says, "Man, I promise, she's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she's doing in college. The major that she majored in don't make no money, but she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her funny. That's not. I don't see how that's hurtful to the black culture at all versus being true, but versus being truthful. I mean, so many people go to college because we talked about that ad nauseum on this show. We go to college because we were told that's what you do. You get good grades, you go to college, you can get a good job. And life today in 2022 is showing that a lot of times that's just not it. I don't want to keep skipping over Brittany though. So Brittany's comment was D.L. Hughley said if he was a woman, he would have been placed in a conservatorship. What do you think about that, bro?
Facts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say it because it's not. And she threw out Britney Spears and Wendy Williams, but there's plenty more women that, you know what I'm saying, are using conservatorships, and it just shows that the limited rights that women still have when it comes to that industry. And that's more so why they would be in the conservatorship, so they can control what they say, what they do, you know what I'm saying, who they're with, you know, their money aspects, like that. for that reason, because they probably go through a lot more damaging, you know what I'm saying, things to get to where they at or to have what they have, and they probably crack or fold a lot faster than most men do. So they have that conservatorship right, so that they can control that aspect, so that you don't just go out there and just say, look, this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm going insane, and you know what I'm saying, I know nobody gonna believe me, but here it is. So that's my take. What you thinking?
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't know how to feel. But I would say I agree with the sentiment. The specificity of a conservatorship is probably not accurate, but what probably would have happened is that back in 2009, if he would have gotten up, if Kanye was a woman that would have gotten up on stage and interrupted Taylor Swift, it would have been, this is shameful, this is crazy, I can't believe this woman did this, and I don't think
got to stick together and all this blah blah blah.
And I don't think that we would have even gotten to this point where he could have gotten to the point where he could say slavery was a choice and things of that nature. So I think
he would never be able to say anything that he's recently said, or a lot of the things that, he's did would, it would be nowhere near.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think that's just a whole other like rabbit hole we could get into with, if this was a woman, this would be totally different. That could be a whole nother episode. Yeah. And I've said it before, I don't believe in the idea of cancel culture. Like you're held accountable for your actions. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And now we have an internet to where when you say or you do crazy things, you feel it at a greater scale because of the ease to share information and the access to lives of celebrities in particular. So because there's so many times that I think of with situations that people, I can remember just something that's top of mind. About 7 years ago, there was a story that leaked out. You might know this, you might not. Some of you listeners, you might know this, you might not. About 7 years ago, I remember there was a thing. Kyrie Irving, at this time, he was playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. There was an internet rumor that spread that said that he had an all-white party, and all white meant all white women. That black women were not wanted, were not allowed. And you don't remember this? Perfect. That's my point. Great. That's my point. Because he put out a statement that said, hey, this isn't true. I would never say anything like this. I would never do anything like this. And it went away. That's probably not the greatest example. Here's a better example of why I don't believe in cancel culture. I cannot think of her name. If you are a fan of The Office, the actress that played Erin on that show, something came out sometime within the last year where she participated in some sort of pageant that had this historically ugly racist history in Missouri, where she grew up in. It came out that she did this. She put out a statement on socials. I'm pretty sure it was on Instagram and on Twitter, and said, hey, this happened. It's true. I didn't know the history of it at that time. Doesn't, excuse it. I'm sorry. It's not what I stand for. And after that, it went away. And so the point that I'm making is that when these crazy things happen, if these folks will just shut it down, hey, it's true, it's not true, I'm sorry it happened, I'll work to be better, this stuff always goes away. L.A. Kemper is her name. Thank you, Brittany. And even like the craziest stuff is like, yeah, I wasn't thinking, whatever, do something, like make it right. And the sooner you make it right, the sooner it goes away. He didn't do that. He wasn't held accountable by us. Back to what I was saying to AB. It got to the point where he said something about the wrong people. They went on to say it. That's what happened. He can fix it. He can fix it.
But that's the point. Why should he have to fix it because he said something about a certain set of people? I mean, like no, you just I mean really made my point. Like it's literally to that point of, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's do what Master say, because if not, he gonna come for me and I'm basically not gonna be able to feed my family, all because, you know what I'm saying, I'm making a point or I'm pointing out their faults or their wrongs. You do it by any other culture and it's all right, no problem. But you talk about their culture and now it's wrong person.
But that's my point. That's my point. My point that I'm trying to make is that it's not like it's about these people that matter. What I'm saying is that for the last 5 or 6 years, he's been saying crazy stuff about black people. Oh, that boy crazy. That boy ain't been right since his mama died. I'm guilty of it. I'm personally guilty of it. That boy ain't been right since his mama died. How many people have said that? How many times have you said that? And that's just a rhetorical question for anybody that's watching or listening. How many times have you said that about Kanye West? He ain't been right since his mama died. He really
It
needs
might
to
have been a couple times early on, like, you know what I'm saying, but not after a couple years after his mom passed, probably not.
Yeah. When did we stop streaming his music after he said slavery was a choice? Nope.
No, but
Did we stop buying
you
Yeezys?
can go back and hear me on wax, so and you see I'm more opinionated different than that, so I wouldn't stop streaming his music.
Well, but so my point is just that the people that he was hurting did not hold him accountable. We didn't do it.
All right. Well, I guess I should have held him accountable because the Jews did, and look at it.
That's my point. Look at that. We actually agree.
I mean, but they say we got more buying power, so we should have been able to make the same impact. Because exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's wild to me that the Jews hold that much power to the point Adidas lost somebody that was making them, you know what I'm saying, shit, damn near more money than they was making themselves. To the point that they like, oh shit, we still own the design, so we can still produce this because we know we still need this money. It just won't be in his name.
Hey.
That's wild.
We'll see what happens. He can fix it. He's still the greatest rapper, as far as I'm concerned.
Hopefully he stand on his beliefs. Move on.
Let's move on. All right. Josh Primo. Did you get a chance to read this article or see anything on it? Josh Primo. So for those of you who don't know, Josh Primo was drafted number 12th overall by the San Antonio Spurs of the NBA. If you don't know, if you don't watch basketball, so just a quick thing, the top 14 draft picks go to the teams that did not make the playoffs. So if you are drafted within the top 14, you're considered to be a lottery pick, and you're considered to be you had a lot of potential to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft. And this is 2021, meaning that this is only his second NBA season. He got waived, he got released by his team. This might, if you're a football fan, you're not really into basketball, you might not understand why this is a huge thing. This does not happen in the NBA. It does not happen. People that are considered to be bust typically make it 4 or 5 years, get a second contract, get another chance, things at the other. And for this guy to get released is it was alarming, right? Why are you guys talking about basketball, Bradley? We're not talking about basketball. It came out yesterday that the reason that he got released was because he was exposing himself to multiple female staffers. And this is the third situation involving the NBA in the last, third or fourth situation over the last year where some inappropriate conduct has caused some uproar in the NBA. So I don't think I gave you a chance to answer. Did you look him up at all?
No, I didn't. But I mean,
So
I'm staying on that shit. I got daughters.
yeah,
You
I,
wild.
I've got I've got an article up from ESPN. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. So first off, one of the female staffers has hired Tony Busby, who is the attorney that represented multiple women in the Deshaun Watson situation for the Cleveland Browns of the NFL. Um, yeah, and you guys have to forgive me. I accidentally turned my computer off. Don't ask me how I accidentally turned my computer off, because that just sounds ridiculous. But so, yeah, there was, okay, here it is right here. This is a statement from him that's in the article. Josh says, I know that you are all surprised by today's announcement. Primo said in the statement, I've been seeking help to deal with previous trauma I suffered and will now take this time to focus on my mental health treatment more fully. I hope to be able to discuss these issues in the future so that I can help others who have suffered in a similar way. I appreciate privacy at this time. So he's connecting his behavior to trauma, which is not uncommon.
No, it's not uncommon, but
Say what you want to say.
Well, one, when it's people like this, I hate the media spinoff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always to help soften the blow, but it's not to take light of mental illness or trauma that, you know what I'm saying, causes issues down the line, because it does happen. But in a sense, didn't he go to Alabama?
I'm not sure where he went. Sorry.
But my thing is, I'm sure this didn't just start happening out of the blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my question is, how did he make it this long? Is there some hidden, you know what I'm saying, issues that's been covered up over the years? Because he should have got help way before now. You know what I'm saying? And that's my other issue, is like, why don't we see this early and try to get these people the help that they need early?
I think the answer to that is always that, not always, but it's more often than we want to realize, that when people are sexually assaulted, and probably should have given a trigger warning, so I apologize. But when people are sexually assaulted, they don't know what to do when that happens. It's they freeze, they get nervous, they get scared, they're shocked, they just don't know what to do, and so.
No, I'm not saying the women that is experiencing this. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying, like, and maybe not, maybe he was that guy, you know what I'm saying, at his college or his high school, so this was never an issue or a problem. But like I said, I'm sure this just didn't start happening once he got to San Antonio and, you know what I'm saying, walking through the facility and all of a sudden, like, oh, shoot.
Well, oftentimes all it takes for these situations is one person to step up to speak out on what happened. And then once somebody else does that, then more feel brave, they feel emboldened, they feel comfortable coming out with what they're saying, right? I'm just thinking about the whole the Robert Sarver situation, who is right now still the owner of the Phoenix Suns. We've talked about that in quite a few times. But it was finally when that ESPN report, ESPN started digging deep. Somebody obviously went to Baxter Holmes and said, this is what's happening in Phoenix. It's crazy. And then slowly but surely, they were able to do a year-long investigation to get that information to make the ESPN article, which started the whole process of the formal investigation and ultimately getting him to commit to looking to sell the team. So when it happens to you and you don't know that it's happened to anyone else, you know, you can't. I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to say why someone hasn't come out yet. It's a brave thing to do to
No,
come out.
I'm not. Not saying, you know what I'm saying, that it's not a brave thing to do, or that it's not hard or not a difficult situation to deal with. I Yeah, the system does victim blames a lot, Brittany. And Trina, I agree with you too. A lot of assault victims do blame themselves. If anybody ever go back in our archive, we had Randy who, you know, saying, was telling her story in a sense, you know, saying blamed herself. So I 100% agree with you. But that's, you know, that's just my thing, is just trying to get them help early, you know. And even though some women or some not saying it, you know, I feel like there's still other people that usually know. It's not, you know what I'm saying, just oh, it was a one-on-one incident or one-on-one situation. Somebody knows, you know what I'm saying, and that's, you know what I'm saying, what should be happening is help should be gotten for the individual or person, you know what I'm saying, involved 9 times out of 10 if you know. If you know, you shouldn't be sitting back and, well, that's that person's situation or that's their problem. You should be trying to figure a way to help them out or get them outed, you know what I'm saying, so that way they can get help.
Yeah.
So,
And then now we're tapping into societal issues at that point, because we just talked about if Kanye was a woman, it wouldn't have gotten this far. Our society treats women differently than we treat men. So when a woman says, you know, we have Trina in the comments saying that she was victim shamed when she was raped and was told she didn't know what sex was, and she was 33 when it happened. So yeah, I mean, sheesh. Um,
but even the large one, I tell the truth. I'm in the
yeah,
top not to report it, you know what I'm saying, at all, or they consider weak. And truthfully, you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying, it's a weird ideology of, you know what I'm saying, that if it happened to you, you know what I'm saying, like as a man, it should be automatically wanted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a man should not have the right to not want it if it was happening to them, if another woman was taking over them. And it's crazy thought, but it's truthfully, you grow up with the notion of, like, if you heard, you know, oh, this dude is suing this woman for, or, you know what I'm saying, pressing charges because this woman raped him, you're gonna hear 100 men be like, what? Let that be me. She ain't had it. But it's crazy because it's the thought of, you know what I'm saying, that you should automatically want it because it's a woman.
You know what's funny? I was watching Next Friday last week, the movie Next Friday. I was watching it
Mm-hmm.
last week. I got into a Friday trap. Brittany knows why. But and then I decided to watch all of them because as of 1 hour from the point that we're recording, the Fridays won't be on Netflix anymore. Now y'all don't leave this podcast live to go watch Fridays. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. Y'all can get a DVD or something else. But no, but all jokes aside, and in the scene of Next Friday, you know, it made me laugh that, yeah, just thinking in retrospect, obviously it's a movie, and this movie is, you know, 22 years old or something like that. And the whole thing is, uh, you know, Day Day is getting harassed by this girl that says it's his baby when she was clearly pregnant when she met him. He just wanted to bite of her cheeseburger, and Baby D is chasing him down, beating him up, throwing bricks through his car, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, I even got a restraining order. And then Ice Cube's line, Craig's line is, come on, man, you got a restraining order on your girl? And so, like, even to that point, I remember hearing that line and be like, yeah, it actually makes sense that he would have a restraining order on her.
Yeah, she's crazy, like legit psycho. You know what I'm saying? He said you supposed to be 100 feet away. She macing him. Like, what you mean? That's
Right.
not 100 feet. Like,
He
but
macing him.
it's like you know what I'm saying? Like, it. Why wouldn't you have a restraining order? And it's crazy because laws have changed. My brother was actually just recently dealing with a lady that was unstable, and he had to have it removed from the home or whatnot. And I mean, they had actual like the companies calling him like, hey, we just want to let you know we're here for you. Men can be victim to abuse and what I'm saying, rape and whatnot. So don't be scared if there's something troubling you, you need somebody to talk to, you need some assistance, you need to get out of the situation. It's just like it shows we've came a long way, because before a man ain't have none of those resources. You know what I'm saying? When nobody reaching out if a woman was beating upside his head or what have you, you got to deal with it. You're a man. So
yeah. I mean, so we'll see. Like I said, this is a guy that for him to get drafted that high, and I guess that's the part maybe, and this is the part that I want to make plain for people that may not necessarily understand. In basketball, they get pretty much guaranteed contracts, and the way rookies work is you pick up options after their 2 years, but each one is done like a whole extra year in advance. So San Antonio had just picked up his 3rd year option, meaning that next year, the 23-24 season. And so when you release a player in the NBA, it's not like the NFL, that contract is guaranteed. So he's going to get paid. And you have to understand that they could have easily sat him down. They could have said, you go away from the team for the time being. They could have said, we're going to try to figure out a way to trade you, even if we get almost nothing in return. But for them to say, we will release you, that means they're going to pay him all of his money that he's owed for this year and next year, because they picked up his contract. They're paying him all the money that he's owed, and he is permanently away from the team. And when you release him, you don't have the ability to re-sign him. So they don't have the ability to go get him back on a cheaper deal. They could potentially get him back next season, but they would still owe him the money that he bought him out on. So they know that this situation was so bad that we have to throw away millions of dollars and say, forget it.
Well, I'm going to say first off, San Antonio ain't missing no money. They got money over there, plenty of it. You know what I'm saying? They got championships. And they got
money.
So
for sure.
That was the least of their worries. You know what I mean? And
that's what I'm saying
is rookies every day. So you know what I mean? Just because you got them number 12, that could be the worst pick of the draft, and so you still wasted your money. So yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like the severity of it, of saying like, hey, we're not gonna take any other option out. We just gonna do away with you, pay you, and if somebody else chooses to pick you up and want to play with you, that's on them. But we not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I would hope that they're still gonna give him the help. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they do have different organizations and resources in the NBA to still get players help, whether they're a current player or ex-player. And that's something I hope they don't turn their back on when they wash their hands with him, is that they still make sure that he gets the help. Now, if they want to charge him out of his salary, that's between them and you know what I'm saying, him. But at the same time, just make sure they get him the help that he needs.
Yeah. And before we move on, I'll just read AB's comment real quick. It says, yep, I was raped, didn't like her. She didn't use force. She threatened to lie on me and say I raped her if I didn't. Wow. I'm 6'6" and on the basketball squad. I thought about scholarships and my reputation, so I did. So it isn't always physical. I didn't report it because I'm 6'6" and she was 5'6". Who are they going to believe? So I just took the L and moved on and never put myself in that situation again. Wow.
And I mean, truthfully, I've heard plenty of stories just sitting back talking with the fellas, older and younger. Younger men are raped a lot of times more than what you would believe, especially growing up in our day when you had a babysitter, what I'm saying, whether it was an older family member that was a female or a close family member. A lot of time in them situations, you was molested or raped too. You know what I'm saying? And not knowingly, or they call it a game, or what have you. And I've heard it in many different scenarios, just sitting back talking to fellas. So it's out there. It just never was really reported or, said nothing about.
Yeah. I I I think I was too.
Yeah, no thinking. More than likely you was. I was, you know what I'm saying? I had an older cousin, you know what I'm saying, that not only did she, rape me or molest me, but she had me and my cousin, you know what I'm saying, playing, not knowing, like it was something normal. So, you know what I'm saying, my little brother, we was raised up by two different mamas. So over in his way, he was in a similar situation. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I done got homeboys and, like I said, older folks who, yeah, I remember when so and so used to watch me. She had me doing this and that. So I mean, it's more common than not.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this the last year, 2 years. Like I feel like it happened, but I don't remember it. But I do remember it. Like it feels like a TV show that I watched. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably where you put some mental blocks up. You know what I'm saying, to help you know it's there, but not really remember in the first person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, and to the fact that with my cousin that, you know what I'm saying, molested us, like she's on papers now. Like she has to report, you know what I'm saying, as a whatever tier rapist when she moves and whatnot. And it was wild, like, because I was in high school and it was using her government name, but we never called her by that. Like very few knew that name. But the name is so unique. I've never met anybody else with that name.
Mm.
So I'm sitting there and I was probably, I don't know, junior. It might be some freshmen. They're like, yeah, as soon as we get to such and such house, you know what I'm saying? Bother skip this and the third. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm like, this name sounds so familiar. Like, nah, it can't be. So I just like, hey, do she go by? And they was like, yeah, you know her too. And I'm like, yeah. But mind you, I'm a junior. She probably like 25, 26, 27. These freshmen, they 14, 15-year-old young bucks. And yeah, they was with it, but when you don't know no better and you being manipulating the situation to be able to come back and brag about something, you still being molested, you still being raped, being taken advantage of. So, it happens.
I don't even know where we go from here, dog.
Hey, we still gonna move on like it's a regular episode, bro. Like, hey, it's how you gotta take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different strides in life.
Well, I put him in the header, so we got to talk about it. Um, Pastor Jamal Bryant. He went off. I'm gonna share the screen, and this way, if you're watching, you'll get to know what I'm talking about. And if you're listening, you will get to hear it. But all right, let me just let it play. Let me just do our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ignore my sideline about wrestling and basketball. Just watch the video.
The Republican Party of Georgia moved Herschel Walker
Y'all
from
can hear,
Texas to Georgia so that he could run for Senate. It's because change was taking too fast in the post-antebellum South. The state had been flipped blue, and there are some principalities that were not prepared for a black man and a Jewish man to go to Senate at the exact same time. So they figured that they would delude us by picking somebody who they thought would in fact represent us better with a football than with a degree in philosophy. They thought we were so slow, that we were so stupid, that we would elect the lowest caricature of a stereotypical broken black man as opposed to somebody who is educated and erudite and focused. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Since Herschel Walker was 16 years old, white men been telling him what to do. Telling him what school to go to, where to live, where to eat, where to buy a house, where to run, where to sit down, where to sleep, where to pay for abortions, where to buy a gun. And you think they not gonna tell him how to vote? In 2022, we don't need a walker, we need a runner. We need somebody who gonna run and tell the truth about January 6th. We need somebody who gonna run and push for the cancellation of student loan debts. We need somebody who gonna run and make the former president respond to a subpoena. We don't need a walker, we need somebody who will be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Georgia, I need you to know the slave Negroes y'all are used to don't live here no more. We can think for ourselves, function for ourselves, and vote for ourselves. Why? Because we don't need a walker.
So usually,
don't sit next to me in church. I'm going
usually I'll let you go first. I'm gonna take the lead on this one because I want to get this out the way.
Oh, he got something on his chest, ladies and gentlemen.
I like Jamal Bryant. I like him a lot. The little bit that I've heard him preach, I've heard him talk. I follow him on Instagram. The way he carries himself, what I see, I like him. I like him a lot. I hate using your message for politics in the pulpit. I'm big on, I think the church needs to speak out more about what's right and not just the right wing part of the church, because that's the only part that you really hear. And it's really only the far right wing part that you usually hear from. I do think there needs to be more from the church, specifically, but it needs to be about the church. It does not need to be about the politics. I hate a preacher preaching on politics from his pulpit. That is disgusting to me. Number one. Number two, I've been on here and I've said, Herschel Walker's got some issues and he's been, I said he's kind of a trash candidate with, some of the things that he said and some of the stories that have come out that are, that run counter to the things that he said that his campaign is about. But I can't have you disrespecting him being a football player when we had 4 or 5 years ago, Laura Ingraham from Fox News telling LeBron James to shut up and dribble. if you're going to attack him on the issues, attack him on the issues, not on his career in the past. Because just because he played football doesn't mean that he can't also be an effective politician. So I just wanted to get that out the way, and I know I get it out a little nicer than Fred would have, but I hated that.
Well, I'm kind of glad he said something about it, because me, I couldn't help it, but he proved Kanye's point. He put a Jewish and an ignorant Negro. They knew it was either going to be easy for the Jew to go in, or the Negro still going to be told
no.
Too soon? Okay.
No.
But
it doesn't. It's not even.
I'm
not
just
even
playing.
connected.
Don't even go there. Like, hey, but no, like, I mean, I'm okay if a pastor wants to, encourage people to vote. I don't think he should help, be biased in the vote. If you got your own opinions and views from whatever you've looked at, you should hold them to yourself. If anything, be informative on who the two voters is, what they stand for, and I definitely don't think it needs to be a part of a sermon. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here for church, not here for, a quick briefing on what's getting ready to go down here next week.
You know what? And what it probably makes me mad about is I remember being young, being a kid, being in the church. And I remember being in the church, and September, October, you start seeing these random white dudes you ain't never seen before, and they sitting on the front row. I'm like, who is this? And then somebody says, well, yeah, this person's here to say something, and it turns out there's somebody running for some sort of position, and they're just coming to speak to the church to say, here's what I'm about, here's what I'm doing, this, that, and the third. And then as soon as they're done talking, they're gone. They're hitting up the next church. And like, it just annoys me. Like, this is not what it's about. And even as like a young kid, I'm talking 11, 12, 13, I looked at me like, I think I was mad when I was that young because they was making church longer. It was already black church. You ain't gotta add politics.
You ain't gotta add nothing.
Man, we was already in that John for 3 hours, man. But no, man, I don't think, whether it be from the left or the right or in the middle, I don't think politics should be a part of worship.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. But it's for who believes it, it's always gonna be there because they help one another. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever, purpose or what have you, whether it comes from some state funding or grants or, what have you, they help one another. So they always going to leave the door open for one another because they never know, when they got to cross that bridge. So no matter how much we don't like it, you'll forever see it.
Yeah. I don't mind a pastor. I don't mind a pastor saying, I'm endorsing this person and here's why. That shouldn't be a part of your ministry, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it on his Facebook, that's fine. I don't care what he do on his Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care if he want to hold a separate meeting. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to use the church to host a meeting, that's fine. But if I didn't already made it here for Sunday school and I just stayed for service, please don't waste my time. 'Cause I've been here quite long, and y'all ain't feeding nobody today.
Man.
So if we ain't finna have no chicken and no green beans, and if mother ain't blessed the rolls, then what we doing?
I'm with you, dog.
I just spent a lot of days in church, hungry and fed. So if I'm gonna be here, please feed me.
Woo! Woo! AB just hit me in my soul right there. He said there's a separation of church and state, but the sad part is that people go to church every Sunday and barely know the word. How can we expect to know who is running if they only do it every 4 years? Not saying they should combine it, but when are they going to get the information?
Well, now listen. I just said if they wanted to, you know what I'm saying, give a briefing, not be biased, you know what I'm saying, just do it outside church hours. But if they want to use a platform to have their congregation informed in a non-biased way, I'm cool for that. But that's the biggest issue we have in our community is none of us really go out there to get the information. We side with each other, or we side with a side being Republican or Democrat. A lot of times people go in there and vote straight party. They don't even look at who there. Just if you got an R or a D, or you know what I'm saying, if you're a Green Party or whatever, they go in there and vote straight party. It's always about being informed.
I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna say, is it really any better for like I said, these random people to show up at the church once every 4 years? And me saying every 4 years is generous, because I would bet that it wasn't the same dudes rotating in and out that church each and every 4 years. So to that point, if the pastor is going to encourage the power of voting and making your voice known, and if that's being done on a regular basis as a resource that the church offers, that's different.
And truthfully, that would be a nice program to have. I mean, I think that's something we need to get into more just as people, and not being just party. Oh, my mom and them vote Democrat, so I vote Democrat. My mom and them vote Republican, so I vote Republican. But actually deep dive into each, individual candidate for each situation, and seeing how if you really agree with them or if you don't.
So with that said, last week's episode, we promised y'all a bonus episode and we did not deliver. I will take the fall for that. I had some stuff happen. The week got crazy. I ended up not being able to fulfill my commitments to get that episode together. We're going to get that bonus episode together. What's happening around y'all this week before this week is done. You have my word on that. I promise you that. So I apologize with that. So where can you get the information? It's going to start here on what's happening. We're going to tell you what's happening around you. And then to the other point that I want to bring out is I was listening to another podcast over the weekend, and I may be butchering this data, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but it was on the 538 podcast, 538 Politics podcast. They played a trivia game amongst themselves, and one of the questions was 2018 midterm, so this is 4 years ago, was a record voter turnout. How much of the eligible population, meaning people 18 or older, not eligible, legal age voting, so people 18 and older, how much of that portion of the population in the U.S. went out to vote? And it was a record-setting number. What would you guess is that number, Fred? And comments, I'd love for you guys to jump in as well.
You talking about just like number of people?
The percentage, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The percentage of individuals 18 and up that went out to go vote, and it was a record-setting number
like 73%.
In 2018. You said 73. AB said 18. I'm gonna see if any more pop up here, and I'm just going to stretch out my conversation. Probably not. Okay. The answer was 53%. That blew my mind. If 53% was a record-setting year, that means more often than not, we don't get half of the people who are 18 and up to vote in this country.
Oh, we know that. You know what I'm saying? That's without a doubt. You know what I mean? But that's Also because, like we said, I think it might have just been last podcast, but we show up for what we want to show up for. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just really what it is. If we're not making history, if it's not trying to like prove a point, we're not showing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying like America in general. You know what I mean? The moment, you know what I'm saying, we start thinking against each other. We'll, but if it's like everybody's kind of like they've been in the past few years, whether it's like, okay, I don't care who it is, or I'm cool with whoever come through, so I ain't gotta vote. But as soon as you say, oh, if you just so happen to put Obama and Trump against each other, you're gonna bring the whole city out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, grandmas, they wheelchairing folks in, bring them on their deathbed, like, you know what I mean? It's
I'm laughing at these comments, too, dog. So Brittany came in the comments. She said 56%, and she was the closest because the number was 53, so she won. And then AB said, "Well, if it was Price is Right, I would have won because it's the closest without going over." And she said, "Facts, but it's not, so I won."
Hey, Brittany playing over and unders. But she like, hey, I'm only over by 3. You under by like 30 something.
We're going to get that bonus episode out to y'all this week. You have my commitment on that. So Elon Musk finally completed the deal to buy Twitter. And he changed his name on Twitter to Chief Twit. And he put out a statement on Twitter. I'm going to read the statement as fast as I can. It says, I wanted to reach out personally to share my motivation in acquiring Twitter. There's been much speculation about why I bought Twitter and what I think about advertising. Most of it has been wrong. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. There is currently a great danger that social media will splinter into far right wing and far left wing echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society. I'm going to skip a little bit in the statement because I want to get to the part where he said, that said, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences. In addition to adhering to the laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences, just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. I encourage you to look at Elon Musk's Twitter to see the full statement. I only read you about a third of it. What are your thoughts, bro?
So if I'm getting this right, based on your algorithms or what you like, it'd be based on what you see. Or do you go in there and literally put, you know what I'm saying, I want raunchy sex with, you know what I'm saying, a side of holy, like, you know what I mean? Like how he's really going.
Here's the thing with Twitter. It already kind of works like that. I just did a screen share with my Twitter, right? When we watched the Jamal Bryant video. And on the side headline, you saw wrestling, you saw basketball, and you may have seen some politics in there because I'm really inactive on Twitter. I use Twitter to keep up with other stuff. I've talked about it in the past. I'm subscribed to certain politicians' tweets. When Joe Biden tweets, I get a notification. When Kamala Harris tweets, I get a notification. When Trump tweeted before, I would get a notification, right? And then I have like certain basketball stuff I follow. So Twitter already kind of works like that to where it feeds you what you interact with instead. So for him to say that like we want to make it to where you can do this, it's already there. So I don't understand that. The message sounds beautiful, but when he says like it can't be and I should have brought this up earlier. Now we're gonna go back into it, but where he says that it can't be a free for all and there has to be some level of rules and things like that. I'm sorry, I got distracted there. He says where it has to be a free for all and it can't be it has to have rules, and you have to adhere to the law of the land. When Kanye's anti-Semitic tweet got deleted, which is what happened before he went on Drink Champs, which is what started which is what blew up the controversy. When those tweets got deleted and Kanye got back on Twitter and he went on a rant, he responded to Kanye saying, "Welcome to the new Twitter," or something to that effect. So his statement doesn't make sense to what Twitter already is, and it doesn't make sense to what he's already said on the same app, on the same account.
Well, I mean, maybe he's saying that what Kanye said wasn't, against Twitter's laws of the land. I mean, only one could think that. He let him come back and then told him, "Welcome to the new Twitter," after a rant. I mean, I can't wait to read the new laws.
We'll see what happened. Like I said, the message sounds great. It doesn't match what I'm already seeing. Let's wait and see what happens. All right. Last thing, and yes, I'm skipping that one thing that's fake. Last thing, I like to end the episode with something funny that we can laugh at. And the question was an interview. Tell a story of an interview where you knew before the interview was over that you didn't get the job.
Interview.
So while you're thinking, I'll share my story. The first one that came to mind is I was interviewing this is back in the day for AT&T position, and like the guy interviewed me. It was like 6:30 at night. I had kind of forgotten that it happened. He clearly didn't want to interview me anyway, but I had kind of forgotten that it happened. And then like I got the denial email. Like I knew it wasn't going well, and I got the we're looking in other directions email as soon as the phone call was over. Like he had it queued up, ready to go, bro. He hit end on the phone, hit send on the computer, and I was like, dang, I didn't even get 3 breaths in. Like, but I knew I wasn't gonna get the job, no way. Like it just like you ever get that bad vibe? Like it wasn't gonna work out. That's the one situation I can think of that happened to me where I knew I did not get the job. Now I can tell you this one time I thought I did get the job for sure. You talking, but we can't hear you at all.
I say, here you go with this bullshit.
Listen, hey, so I had applied for the job with this company called Radio Shack, right? But it ended up actually being a job for Target Mobile. And so I interviewed with this manager. His name was William. And
somebody gonna say William.
And so I interviewed. The vibes are dope, and like gives me this whole like sell me this pen move, and I sell him the pen. He like, all right, you good, you all right. He cheesing the whole time, and then like he called me like 2 weeks later because he was like, yeah, I got to go to Vegas. So he went somewhere, and he came back, was like, I'm gonna make my decision, and he came back and he called me and he said, I'm not gonna pick you at this time, but if I ever have a position down the road, I'll call you. And I was like, yeah, whatever, motherfucker.
He wanted to do my deep voice so bad, it's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I gotta say, I probably haven't had. Mine's is like if I get the interview, like, and this is my Bradley impression. If I get the interview, like I know I'm gonna kill it, so I don't really worry about it. I'm gonna get the job, but mine is usually in the application fill out process. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, probably not submit. Yeah, there we go. You know what I'm saying? Then I get the email 3 days later talking about, yeah, we decided to move forward. I really wanted that one though. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I can't say like I really interviewed for something that, because especially once I got into sales, that shit. Yeah, you already know what time it is. It's on the flow. So,
you ever apply for a job on LinkedIn or Indeed? and before you hit send, it say you really ain't got the qualifications for this big dog.
Hey, they be saying it all the time, but you know what I'm saying? I just go play with them and just add it into my little bag where they say I'm missing skills.
Man.
Just gonna go ahead and add that under the skills column. It'll go all green and I'll hit submit. They gotta call me then.
I'm gonna tell you a secret though. If you apply for a job that you know deep down that you're not qualified for, and they call you anyway, be suspicious. Because I'm telling you, when I was getting the applications of my Go Wireless days, bro, I was like, listen, this is a human. I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna see what they talking about at least.
I need a number, a body, somebody.
Man, dog, bro, my interview stories, man, I could probably do a separate podcast on my interview stories, dog. Like one time, all right, I'm gonna share the story and then we're gonna tap out because we're about to hit an hour 20. I'm gonna share the story. All right. I had the store manager. Now he was looking to move up to being a district manager. And part of me trying to help him to get there was going through my process on interviewing, right? And looking for good quality candidates. So we do a phone interview, right? And I got the guy on the phone interview and I got it on speakerphone, so he knows, that my store manager is listening, getting trained at the same time. And this guy had moved from Phoenix to the Detroit area, and I asked him, what made you move, and he gave some sort of answer. I don't remember what it was. This is like 3 years ago. Whatever the answer it was a normal answer that you would expect. And like honestly, the way the interview was going, I would have brought him in for a full-on face-to-face interview. Like that would have happened. And then he goes out of nowhere. He goes, honestly, everybody in Arizona just does crack, and I don't want to do coke, so I had to move because I couldn't meet anybody or do anything unless I started doing coke. First off, he put crack and coke as like one thing. Beyond that, as he continued to talk, he then brought up the fact that he at one point had a landscaping job, and he, like, before this happened, like the interview was normal. Then he talked about that. Then he said how he had a landscaping job and he didn't get the job done. He didn't do everything he needed to do. And so he went to the lady's house at like 2 a.m. to get the job done. I'm like, so you're telling me that you're only surrounded around drug addicts and drug users and drug sellers, and you break into people's property at 2 in the morning? No, I'm not hiring you. Like,
yeah. And see, like, I ain't gonna lie, I generally hate the way job system for finding candidates is set up, because they always trying to match it with these. Well, we interviewed or we did some studies on these top 10 people of the company and figured out if people have qualifications like these, then they'll be good candidates. And that is like the most bogus shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like talking to people, and especially if it's a sales job, I already do off top. I'm gonna say I'm in sales and I make commission. And you're gonna say one or two things that's gonna let me know if I even want to deal with you or not. You're gonna say, well, I don't know if I could just live off of commission like that. Like, I need some hourly. Or you're gonna be like, I mean, I don't know how to sell, but I'll try it. Okay. I'll take the person that's willing to try it. But if you like, I can't live off commission, then that tells me you're not motivated enough anyway. So, You know what I'm saying? That was my biggest thing. Like, if we in the interview and I'll ask a person, so what makes you think you can, you know what I'm saying, you can do sales or that you're fit for sales? And a lot of times you'll get that, well, I don't know, I just needed a job and, I've never sold anything, but, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. Truthfully, that's what made Bradley a great candidate, with being honest. That's what my DM said is, I had the one who could have had my job and my DM's job, and then I had another person,
who failed a drug test. I just play it.
That was a whole different person. But then I had Bradley, you know what I'm saying? And I was sitting there talking to my boss, and I'm like, you know, he like, truthfully, it's better to go with the one.
Oh, I just remember the story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that. But yeah, everybody know what you're gonna say. Tell the story about the one dude that you gave a ride to.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Needing bodies, needing people. I worked 6-7 months straight, 7 days straight.
Your boy had got promoted, and so Fred was all about his lonesome.
Well, no, I think I thought the person I gave a ride to was before you. Was that after you?
This was after me. This is why I know about it.
I mean, you'd have knew about it if it was before you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, cat named Anthony, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta put his whole name out there, dog.
And he on my Facebook too, so I want him to see it. If he ever do see it, Aunt Sizzle is what he calls it. So, hey, that's my dog though. But you know what I'm saying, like straight up, you know what I mean? He like, man, wait, you know what I'm saying? He told me, and I told him, he's like, man, I smoke a lot of weed. I said, that's cool, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a drug screen, so you got time to clean it. You got, you know what I'm saying, get you some synthetic, somebody, I don't care what you do, just pass the damn drug screen, get a job. You know what I'm saying? The cat can literally replace iPhone screens, jailbreak iPhones. He knew all the information on them. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, leave me alone. Let him tell the story, dog.
You know what I'm saying? And straight up, it was like, bro, just pass the drug screen. You'll be perfect candidate. Man, I took the cat to go buy whatever he was going to use to pass the drug screen. I don't know if he messed it up, didn't take it, what, but I just know I had a shoe in. Like, oh yeah, I got an employee coming, you know what I'm saying? I gave him the heads up on the drug screen and everything. He failed me, let me down.
Wait.
He just failed me.
Didn't you take him to get the drug screen?
Yeah, I picked him up from his house, took him to get the drug. I mean, I was like super manager.
Yeah. Fred had faith in the boy.
People let you down every time.
Man. Well, listen, hopefully we didn't let y'all down. We had a lot of good comments. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Follow us, all social media platforms at What's Hattnin. I'm Brad Robinson86 on Twitter, Brad Robinson1986 on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Fred is Fred Scott on Facebook, Mr.Humble_beginnings on Instagram, and he said he was in the front seat.
Probably sweating like I'm sweating with this damn hoodie on. It's just knowing like, damn, I'm finna feel this nigga. I just know I am.
Oh man. And then the DM was like, man, I would have socked.
Hey, yeah, that's what happens when you got a black DM. He
man,
some real shit in the moment. Like, you know what? Sound like one of my family members. I sock the shit out of this.
And shout out to Newt, man. Newt was a real one.
Hey, straight up, I just seen he got a new gig too.
Yes, sir.
Hope he doing a deal with that.
Podcast listeners, make sure you're subscribed to the show. Follow us on social media. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Love is a verb. Share the show so we continue to grow. Next week is our 1-year anniversary episode, but we're going to have a bonus episode for y'all for before then, talking about what's happening around you. We'll see y'all next week. He wasn't even considered enough to give you gas.
I appreciate each and every one of y'all for sliding through, hanging out with us, you know what I'm saying, shooting the breeze with us. Hey, it always makes it a better time.
Well, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.